Hello guys, I hope all of you are fine. In today's video, we will be discussing the difference between structure and union. Normally, uh, whatever the resources, internet resources or your books you have studied, so you always say that a structure is a collection of different data types. Here, every data type has a memory associated with it. So this is what you have been reading so far. If I talk about union, this is also a collection of different data types, but over here total memory is actually equal to the data type memory that has maximum data type size. That means that union actually captures the memory of that data type which is having the highest memory size. Like if I take an example of, let's say I take an example of struct A and I'm writing int A float B, and I have declared the variable of structure, anything like that, right? So memory allocation to structure is done after declaring the object of it. So I'll just declare that A followed by obj. Now, if I write that in structure, the similar thing I'm writing that in union. I'm writing int A float B, and we have closed this union, and we have main A followed by obj. Now, as per the definition, every data type, every data type is having its own individual size. If I talk about traditional data type, obviously data type of integer and float depends upon compiler to compiler. But if I talk about in your uh, totally, if I'm talking about the conventional data type size of integer, so the conventional data type size of integer is 2 and float is 4. So the total memory which is 6 that is allocated to this particular object. But the same cannot be said for union. Why? Because union captures the data type size. The union actually captures the data type size of that data type which is having higher data type size. That means if integer is taking 2 bytes and float is taking 4 bytes, so the union captures the data type with higher data type size. It means it will capture entire union will have the data type size of 4. Why? Because 4 is higher, 4 is larger than 2. So the data type size of obj would be 4. And importantly, both are contained in one data type only, or means I would say that allocation to A as well as B is for a single memory only, but over here allocation of A and B are different memory allocations. So over here in union, A and B are sharing the memory, and what is the memory? A higher data type size. And in structure, A and B are sharing different memory allocation. So that's what you have studied in a structure as well as a union when it comes with the particular concept or definition part. But most of the students, they say this thing only, but there are some insights to that also with union part. If I just take a simple example of struct, and I'm giving data type and I have written int A, right? And over here I write character C, and I am just getting the values of A. What get A value? I have taken it as 75, and C value I'm generating it as D, right? And I'm displaying them. Let's just display them. C out A as well as C, and this entire structure is closed. But the point here is, if I just write main and I just declare the object of structure and I just call obj.get. Now, if I have to take the output of this particular code, so as I have taken that A value, I have taken it as 75. C value, which is a character, I have given it small d, and I'm displaying A as well as C. So my answer will come at 75D. Guys, this is the answer for structure. But if I have to calculate the answer of union, if I just have to replace this struct with union keyword, so I'm just replacing that. I'm replacing this struct with union keyword. Now, what will be the answer? This is a very important thing to be understood. That will it be 75D? It cannot be 75. Why? Firstly, what will be the answer? The answer would be dependent upon. The answer is dependent upon the data type which is initialized at last. Means your A and C, they both will share memory. Both will share memory. Now it means if A and C are sharing, just see over here, if A and C are sharing, so firstly you have declared A value as 75. Initially union gets 75. Mind you, both are sharing. It means one memory allocation will come correct, and the second we will see. So firstly 75 is shared. Now in union there is another data type which is, there is another data type which is also initialized, which is C value is given as D. So what happens here is that this 75 is actually swapped with D, and your A as well as C both are having this answer of D. Earlier A was initialized, it was 75. Now C is initialized, it is D. So this 75 is replaced with D, and D is shared. It's a shared memory location. And A and C both are sharing D. It means that if my C out A will come, your A answer is actually D, but D is in front, in character form. So D in character form, what is the sky value of D in integers? In integers, small a is 97, small b is 98, small c is 99, and D value is 100. So since D is shared by A as well as C data members, so C out A would be D value and D in integers, because A is declared in integers, so it cannot be written as D, but it will be written as 100. Why? Because over here 100 is the sky value for your D character. So that's what you have got. And yes, C value was given D, so it will display D. If we are displaying A as well as C, so A value gets 100 and C value also gets this particular value, means C value you have been given as D. So Why you have written 100 over here? Why 100? Simple reason is that both A and C are sharing D. So D in terms of integer is taken as 100 and D in terms of character is D only. So that's why your answer is 100 and D. So in structure, the memory allocation is different. So the answer was 75D. In union, the same answer is given to both the data members. That's why it is 100D and 100D are same thing. D is in terms of character and 100 is in terms of integer. That is what your structure and union differentiation is all about. So it means the first important takeaway from union is both data members get same answer. If they get same answer, which answer they will get? The answer which is initialized at last. The answer which is initialized at last is the same answer for it. Both data members, the memory is shared by A as well as C. The answer was D, but A was integer and C was character. So in character, D is fine, but for integer, its answer would be 100, and for characters, its answer was D. So I'm just implementing the same thing in terms of the C++. So just implementing the same scenario with this structure and union. So I just see over here, we have given int role and character C, right? I will just get the values of a role and C only, fine. And I'm displaying the values of a role as well as C. Yeah. So guys, this is a particular code with struct student. I have written roll number and C. I will take the value of roll number and C, and I will display the value of roll number and C. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing it with structure. Yeah. If I'm executing, see over here, in execution, your answers would be they are asking me the value. Roll number is 100 and value is C. So the answer is 100 and C. That's what we have got. Secondly, we will be sharing the screen where I'm taking the value. Similarly, if I take the value of union over here, so I'm just putting file and run, and see over here. If I'm taking the value of 75 for roll number and D for a character value, answer just C, 100D. Why? Because actually D was shared with all the members. There are two members only, which is one is your roll number and second was C. So since the C value was D you have given, so D is shared by role as well as C, and D in terms of integer is 100 and in terms of character it is D. So that's why it is 100 and D. That both the data members share the same answer, and answer which is initialized last. So initially you have got initializing role with 75 and C with small d. So initially your roll number was 75, your character value was D. So that has been basically taken, and initially 75 was there, it was replaced with D. So D is shared by a role as well as C, and D value in terms, because roll number was integer, so in terms of integer it is 100, and in terms of character it is D. So thank you very much to watch the video till the end, and kindly share, like and subscribe. If you have any doubts, kindly post that in comment section. Thank you.